What's up, everybody? This is Philip Enriquez for the Say What You Like Sports Podcast. And on the line with me, I got my good buddy. You may know him on YouTube as Mr. Boom. Say what's up to the people out there. Can you hear me? All right. You seem a little muffled to me. A little bit. Okay, I can hear you. Hopefully this works itself out. So, what do you got for me, man? Any questions?
I do. Philip, backup quarterback. What the heck are the Dallas Cowboys going to do about backup quarterback, man?
Backup.
What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, here you go. I got your sound. I got your sound up. Backup quarterback is a big concern to me going into 2019 because I'm going to say this first off. I give Dak Prescott a lot of crap. I'm the first one to admit you and I had gotten to little mini arguments regarding Dak. And maybe it is because I have been such a huge Romo fan through the years that it's hard for me to see Romo go without winning the big one and to see Dak doing so well. But, like I always say this, man, I'm a Cowboys fan first and foremost. And you know what? I'm on the Dak bandwagon now. Like, whether for better or for worse, just like when, I'm sorry to say, but man, when you get married, it's like for better or for worse, right? But this is where I'm going to invest my time in, right? This is the person that, whether it's good or bad, that I'm going to stick with. So for the foreseeable future, to me, I realize that's Dak Prescott. And he's got a lot of good qualities. And the number one good quality is good health. This guy is the first Cowboys quarterback in the history of the Dallas Cowboys to play all 16 games 3 years in a row. That's never been done. Not Roger Staubach, not Danny White, not Troy Aikman, nobody, not Romo. Nobody's played 3 straight seasons at 16 games started for a quarterback. So Dak Prescott's got the health, man. And he's strong. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's not going to get injured easily. He can take a hit and get back up. Dak Prescott is a warrior. So I just want to give Dak his props. And hopefully, because of that, we're not going to have to worry about the backup quarterback. But just in case he does, let's talk about it. I do think there is room for concern because Cooper Rush and Mike White are the 2 backup quarterbacks on the roster. And let's face it, at this point, they're unproven. I mean, what have we really seen from either? I know Cooper Rush did, give me a little confidence going back to the 2017 training camp that we went to. I remember looking at number 7 thinking, wow, this guy throws a nice ball. He's playing with a lot of confidence. Hey, this guy might be somebody to watch. And he played very well in the preseason. He threw a couple of touchdowns. I can see that he was able to get outside of the pocket, make some throws on the run. So I was confident with Cooper Rush as the backup quarterback, at least in 2017. But then in 2018, when you look at that preseason film, that wasn't very good. Cooper Rush took some steps back. He threw some bad interceptions. I'll remember that one interception he threw. Yeah, it was Patrick Peterson, but it was a sick interception that he threw that was a pick 6 in the preseason. He just wasn't playing with that same confidence. I could kind of see him in the pocket, and the word I want to use is he was hesitant. He didn't have confidence in his reads. He didn't have confidence in what he was seeing out there. And my eyes are going to be on Cooper Rush big time when we go to Santa Clara for game 1 in the preseason with the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to be looking to see if Cooper Rush gets that confidence back. So, yeah, there's reason for concern at the backup quarterback spot. I mean, but you as a Cowboys fan, do you think that's really going to affect us in the season?
I think it might have a little, something to do with maybe the outcome,
Yeah.
and then it might not.
Right.
and then it might not. To be honest,
It all depends on
it's
Dak's
one of
health.
those- It's true. It's true.
The thing is,
It's
you know
true.
what? If you lose your starting quarterback for an extended period of time in the present day NFL, you're in trouble. The thing is, is Cooper Rush going to show me enough to where, let's just say Dak gets hurt and he's got to be out for like a quarter or maybe like a series or two? Can Cooper Rush put some points on the board? Can Cooper Rush take over as the starting quarterback for, let's say, a game or two, and not lose it, not put the offense way behind the chains? And, that's what I'll be looking
totally
for.
agree with you, Phil.
Yeah, but you know what? If you lose Dak Prescott for the season and say like week 2, no matter what team you are, you're pretty much screwed unless are you one of these lucky teams that have a great backup quarterback. And right now, let's just be honest with ourselves. The Cowboys have some unproven dudes behind Dak Prescott right now. Mike White is the third quarterback. He was drafted last season, so he's a draft pick. He's kind of got that like size of Troy Aikman. He's got that 6'5", 230 plus pound frame, so he could take some hits. He's got a strong arm, but again, it's kind of that same thing. I don't see the confidence. He's kind of slow, to be honest. Like Cooper Rush, you could tell Cooper Rush has a little speed, and Mike White's more like a Drew Bledsoe type, kind of that statue in the pocket. But again, let's see if he's hit the books.
Kind of guy.
Right. Let's see if he's learned the plays. Let's see if he plays with confidence, and let's hope one of these backup quarterbacks is on the roster, because if not, the Cowboys are going to be looking at the cuts around the league and seeing if they can get a veteran in here to back up Dak Prescott. And honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, would you be opposed to seeing them look for like a veteran quarterback, like, somebody that may be on the roster bubble, like let's say Colt McCoy or a Robert Griffin III? I mean, would you be comfortable with the Cowboys, signing a player like that if Cooper Rush and Mike White both don't play well in this preseason?
I would sacrifice, if it was up to me, Phil, I would sacrifice both those players to get a veteran in there with Dak Prescott. I would definitely like to get rid of both those guys. So it's my decision. I would get rid of both of them. No hard feelings. But we don't got time to mess around. And then I would get a veteran to back up Dak Prescott. Definitely, I believe in that. Definitely.
Yeah. I think if these guys, especially if they show little to nothing in the preseason, you got to get a veteran in here. I like Colt McCoy, again, a guy that can come in and win a game or two if he's got to play a couple of games. That's all we're asking. We know he's not going to be as good as the starter. We know he's not going to take Dak's job. We know he's not going to go undefeated down the stretch and lead us to a Super Bowl. But you know what? Let's say Dak goes down for 3-4 games. At least he could keep us at 500 and win a 2 out of the 4 games and keep us in the hunt against the Eagles and the Redskins, who I think are going to be pretty tough in this division in 2019. Definitely. So, yeah, the backup quarterback, man, I'm glad you asked, because that's a big concern of mine. And like I'm saying, that's going to be the number one thing I'm looking for in the 2019 preseason. How good is Mike White? How good is Cooper Rush? Are they playing with confidence? And basically, can they get the job done at the QB spots in 2019?
I do know 24 hours ago, it's not actually 13 hours ago, by Patrick Walker, 24/7 Sports. He reported that they're checking out a Tyron Christian. And
Really?
that they've been checking out a quarterback by the name of Tyron Christian in mid-July. It shows the club does have an eye on the publishing the issue of backup quarterback, and they're looking at a Christian.
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah, they're going to need a camp arm, because, they got so many reps in training camp, and they have like that 4th preseason game where they don't want to risk anybody to injury, not even a backup quarterback, for the most part. So they're going to need a what they call like a camp body. But you never know, man. This guy they want him because they see something in him. Maybe they think he fits the system. Maybe they see something that they like that nobody else sees. And, we'll be looking at, I think every quarterback on the roster is going to be an option.
It's true. And 12 hours ago, just literally 12 hours ago, he reported ready for the coming QB competition in the All-Star training camp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The training camp competition between the quarterbacks is going to be good. We know Dak Prescott's solid as the starter. But, man, the backup quarterbacks, there's so many questions. There's even a question on, just making a 53-man roster, having to make the cuts as the coaches and as the GM. Jerry Jones has to sit down and make those cuts. Are you going to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster or just 2? I think that
True.
this team's so talented that I'd like to see them, keep two quarterbacks and try to fit the third one on the practice squad if they're eligible. Because to me, I'd rather have a badass special teams linebacker or a badass special team safety than a third quarterback that you're hoping and praying never sees the field. That's the way I look
I
at
agree.
that. Yeah, I'd
Let me
rather.
ask you something else, Joe. Let me
Yeah,
ask you
yeah.
something else.
Let's do it.
If you're in charge of the Cowboys as far as drafting a
Right.
veteran, and let's just say basically we're talking for real here. Let's just say basically Stephen Jones, you're Stephen Jones, and you're going to go draft a veteran right now on the market. What's available? Who would you like to come and actually be our backup quarterback?
See
as
right
a veteran
now,
spot?
yeah. See right now, a lot of the quarterbacks that were on the market like retired. A couple of guys retired. So I don't really want to bring back a guy that retired because I'm wondering like if you retired, that means you're probably tired of it, right? That probably means your heart wasn't in it. So I don't want a guy that's heart isn't in it. You think about guys like Sam Bradford. These guys get hurt, and these guys want a lot of money just to be the backup quarterback. But like I said, once the preseason starts, goes on and on and on here, and we start seeing some of the cuts, then I'll be interested, and then I could probably give you some names, like guys that are on the bubble. Like I did mention Colt McCoy, who has been playing with the Redskins the last few years, but
True,
he's on the
true, and I
bubble.
like him.
And
He's done some damage to us.
he did some damage to
McCoy.
us, right? I'd be looking for those guys, like those third string quarterbacks, those second string quarterbacks on other teams that might not make the team, and then see, hey, out of those guys, who's left? But that's one name that I can give you that, hey, you know what? I would be interested in him as opposed to, say, a Sam Bradford, or something like that. Look, Mark Sanchez, he was a guy that was the backup quarterback here a couple of years ago when for Tony Romo's last year, Dak's first year. But he retired too. He's taking a job as an announcer now for, I think it was ESPN. So, he's another
true.
guy that I would want, but these guys are retiring. So now it's like, all right, I got to wait and see what the cuts are. So right now, I'm rolling with Cooper Rush and Mike White for now, and then looking at the cuts.
That's true. And no better time for a new quarterback to come in and come in also with the Kellen Moore new
Right.
offense. So
I'm excited for Kellen Moore.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I'm going to admit with you, I'm excited. But obviously it always comes back to Dak, but I'm excited to see what he is going to do because now there's no excuses. And even then there was no excuses.
Right.
But
never.
He took us what he took us, okay?
Yeah, no, he did great.
But the bottom line is, okay, but what's the next step? And I think it's not just me and you and just fans and then people that are not fans in general. They just want to see what's your next step. What are you going to do now? Because everyone's watching and everyone's waiting to see whether it's good or whether it's bad. Everyone's waiting to see what he is going to do. Meaning, how is he going to improve in the pocket? How is he going to improve by making decisions when to throw and when not to throw it away? How is he going to improve of when to use his legs and when not to use his legs?
Right.
There's always room for improvement for
the
everyone
decision
in life
making
in general.
Yeah.
But yes, it's like things like that. It's what's going to take you to the next level to be able to beat Tom Brady, even if he makes it again, and even if people say his age, doesn't matter. If he's there, he's going to be trouble. Bottom line.
Right.
And to beat the best, dude, you got to be able to,
to beat the best.
Make the best.
Right.
You got to make the best. Meaning you got to first make yourself.
How do you think?
And I want to see it.
We went to the Eagles game in Dallas where they basically won the NFC East. Basically, not officially, but basically won the NFC East that day. And we went to the Pluckers chicken wing bar in Texas. Shout out to Pluckers, one of our favorite places when we go to Texas. And we had a little discussion about Dak. And, I was being more of the bigger Dak critic while you were being more of the Dak defender. But how do you think Dak's going to play now that Jason Witten's back and now that he has a whole training camp to really, establish that connection with Amari Cooper? I mean, do you expect more from Dak like, say, I was last season?
It's funny because like, everyone's laughing. Because they're all hearing about Jason Witten coming back. They're thinking, what? Dude, they're pointing at him like, dude, what is he going to do?
I mean, yeah.
The guy's old.
Yeah, he is.
I get
he
it,
is.
man. I do.
He's old and he's slow, but he knows how to get open.
You know what I mean? And if he gets his hands on you, He's going to block you. And if he blocks you, that's one less guy that Zeke is going to run by. And when that happens, dude, that is going to reopen that hole that they had in 2016. And not only gives, the ball to Zeke and open up the hole for Dak. Because remember, dude, when holes open up for Zeke, then that opens up holes for Dak, because then, they're more focusing on shutting down the run, and then that opens up the receivers, and then there's no excuses for Dak. He's just going to be able to execute clean, make it look good, and then get it to them. And get it to them clean, though. Like you said, though, Phil, like how you get angry, which is true. Get the ball to them in the right spot, though.
Right.
In the way, the position that they're running already, so they don't have to turn around. They don't, try to be an Aikman as best as possible. Throw it to them where they just keep running the same route they're running.
Right.
So they don't stop. And
they don't have to slow down to catch that ball.
And I
hit them in stride.
I do see that. But it took Aikman 2 years, Matt. 2 years. And that's on his third. But that was Aikman's technique, though. You could see.
But Aikman was a number one overall draft pick, man. Like, he was the man.
It's true. It's true. And, it's a different category. Very true. But meaning, if they're going to try to compare, meaning they're trying to, if they're trying to get to that level, dude, where you're able to stay in the pocket,
right,
like Aikman, and hit those balls where they need to be, exactly where the position of the player doesn't have to switch, just totally on point. That's when you're becoming elite, like you said, elite. And I'm waiting for him to become elite, dude. And I want to see him become elite.
Right.
And it's a make or break, dude.
Right.
It really is a make or break.
Yeah, I want to see him become elite. And like I mentioned, some of the reasons why I was I was given such a heavy critique of Dak was because I just feel like sometimes he runs into the pressure, holds on to the ball a little too long, and he doesn't sense it. And I think that gets us behind the chains. And for the kind of offense that the Cowboys like to run, in order for them to stay efficient in the offense and to score points and get in the red zone, they have to stay ahead of the chains. So I don't want to see negative plays. And I started to see a little bit too much from Dak. But in the end, like I said, man, honestly, Dak's a warrior. Dak never gives up. So I'm rolling with Dak. I think Dak's the guy that's going to lead this team. Or maybe he won't, but he's the guy we got to put all our hopes behind right now, because he's our horse. He's the horse. He's pulling the wagon, so we got to do our best to support him. At this point, that I know. I hope him and Michael Gallup, really, connect on some of those deep balls they missed last season. And I'm very confident that with Amari Cooper and the connection that they had last season is only going to continue to improve. And I believe that that's going to help open things up underneath for a Jason Witten or an Ezekiel Elliott to make catches out of the backfield. I think this Dallas Cowboys offense is going to be a whole lot harder to defend than it was last season, especially early on.
It's true. And going back to Witten, he is going to be beneficial. He really is. And he's best believed, dude. 5 yards, him getting the ball, doing a little simple route, a simple slant, 5 yards, dude. You give him the ball, he'll get first down still on third downs. He's still going to be a target. The bottom line is the defense is still going to have to worry about Witten. That's the bottom line.
Right.
And then people can laugh all you want, dude. You can point and laugh all you want because the man is slow. So why is it you got to worry about him then?
Yeah.
Why is it that every time when they say hi, you don't know if he gets the ball, even if he's slow, why are you still worried about him? Because he'll still move on you.
Exactly.
He's still a man. He's still hard to bring down.
Exactly.
He's stronger, actually.
Jason Witten has just like some of the best balance I've seen at being able to throw a defender off, to make him think he's going left and he's going right.
He'll knock him down.
And his hands are one of the best. How many times do you see Jason Witten drop a pass? Like, I've been watching Witten for years, and I really don't remember this guy dropping any significant amount of passes ever.
And then it's like, when does he ever miss?
He's old, reliable, man.
As much as the statement you said about the passes, which is 110% true, honestly, Cowboy fan or not, if you look at the stats, which never lie, numbers never lie, he rarely misses games. He rarely drops passes. Dude.
Yeah, right. He's dependable.
Two simple things.
He's dependable.
His job occupation.
He's dependable. And it's like we used to say when we were kids, man, like sometimes people would get happy because they're exploding, when we were in the collections business and somebody would explode on the board and settle $40,000. But the guys that really make it in the business are the ones that stay consistent. And that's Jason Witten, consistent. Sure. You always got to worry about him getting a settlement. He's never going to have the biggest week. He's never going to be number one, but he's always going to be there on the board.
He's always going to be on the board, and he's always going to be present.
Yeah.
Showing his presence, dude,
So
and also
hopefully,
showing
yeah,
that he's settling,
yeah,
moving.
right. So hopefully
And
Kellen
that's what
Moore.
Jason Witten did.
Yeah. So let me ask you then, as a Cowboys fan, you followed the team for longer than I have probably. And, what's your biggest concern? Like, what's
Just
the
a
one
little,
thing
bro.
that you think can hold back the Cowboys from, achieving their goals in 2019?
Every year, it's the same. You want to know what that little superstitious is? That little hocus pocus? That little fugazi?
I
Dude,
think
you
I
want to know
know.
what it is?
I think I know, but
that. It's themselves. It's themselves.
yeah.
It's that. Are they going to hold themselves back every year? Even going back to Romo, even going back to when T.O. days. It's always been the Dallas Cowboys holding back themselves, dude. It's never been because they didn't have the guy. It's never been because they were doing really hard, they were doing really good and trying really hard, and then all of a sudden the other team was too, and then they got outbeat. It's always that we're messing up. It's always that we hand the game to them, or basically just to play it simple. Because when I used to play football, bottom line is we do it to yourselves, and that's losing too, dude.
Right.
And until we get over that, where we don't lose to ourselves, hey, dude, if we're gonna lose, and if I see my teams trying their hardest, dude, everything's like running, and we're losing.
Right.
We're getting beat, plain and simple. But when we're not even trying, meaning we're not being and doing what we should be doing, you're playing terrible that game. Bottom line is you're giving the game away for you're losing. You're doing it. The other team is not even doing nothing, dude. You're doing it for them.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm afraid of.
Whose fault do you think that is? Is that the head coach's fault? Is that Jerry Jones' fault? Whose fault is that?
I don't want to take it off the quarterback. I'm not trying to take it off the quarterback because he is going to be looked at, dude. No matter what, he's going to be looked at, and there's no excuses, and we all know it. But it is a little to do with, not a little. There is at least 50% to do with the coach, dude, because obviously, it's not working.
Right.
It's not working.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Regardless, I think this
players,
is make or break.
The players we've had. So we have special. Tony Romo, like you said, was a great player. And I know we didn't have the O-line we had right now, per se, or in the 90s, but we had an O-line. We did. We had an O-line, and it's like, he was just getting it better, and it wasn't fair for him to be already too old and paper machete.
Right.
It's not his fault.
Yeah.
He gave his whole life. That's how bad his body was. He gave his life every year trying to get that Super Bowl, dude. Not caring about the money, caring about the Super Bowl. He wants to be the next face on that sixth Super Bowl, on the wherever Super Bowl, it was going to be, dude. He wanted to be the one to bring us there, and he was very good. But then again, once again, like you said, the coaches, who's there? You know what I mean? It's like, ask yourself, what kind of motivation are they getting other than themselves?
Right.
Because they're not getting it from the head coach. And that's just my point.
Yeah. I think most Cowboys fans are frustrated with Garrett, and I think, Garrett's working on the last year of his contract. So this is make or break. I think if Garrett doesn't get you to the NFC Championship game, at least he's gone. I mean, say bye-bye to Garrett, say bye-bye to the Clapper. I don't think, he's going to make it if he doesn't at least reach the NFC Championship game, because we've seen the divisional round of the playoffs last season. We've seen it in Dak's rookie season when we lost to the Packers. We saw that game together. Romo got the team to the divisional round with Garrett when they beat the Lions. And he also...
Finally.
Yeah, and he also got to the divisional round. Even though they had a bye, they played the Giants that year. They lost to the Giants way back in 2007. But we've seen the divisional round with Garrett either as the offensive coordinator or the head coach. But now it's like, show me something new, Garrett. Show me the next level. Show me at least the NFC Championship game, but preferably show me a damn Super Bowl. It's been way too long, man. Way too long.
It's been too long, and it's time to change history. And, I know everyone doesn't want to hear it, but the bottom line is, dude, it's the truth. Once we get our sixth Super Bowl, it's going to be one of the biggest Super Bowls of all time. And that's just because of how this cloud has been hanging over our team for so long,
Yeah.
And once we get that Super Bowl, it's not even about how many we have, because now we have other teams, which I love it, that we have a lot of teams out there that are doing really good. Now they have 6 Super Bowls. To break Tom Brady, what he's done, and let alone the Patriots, because Tom Brady plays for the Patriots, so therefore the Patriots per se, to break and do what they've done so far is going to be super hard, guys. I mean, come on. You guys just witnessed Michael Jordan right there. It's super hard to be that guy and to beat him. But I do tell you one thing. Once the Dallas Cowboys do get their next Super Bowl, it's going to be history because we've been waiting for so long, and that's just
Oh
how
yeah.
it is. Just like the Eagles. When the Eagles got there, it was a very special time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, we've been itching for 20 plus years to get a Super Bowl. I mean, we're going to lose our minds when
true.
they do. That's it. And I think this year is the best year, at least talent-wise, going into a season. I don't remember being as excited in the last couple of years. I think this team is a lot better than they were last season, going into the season. We got Cooper now.
Up, definitely.
Yeah, we got Cooper now. We got Witten back. I think Travis Frederick is healthy. Some of the wide receivers we just saw, they cut Allen Hurns. We talked about that earlier because they like the depth at wide receiver. They like Michael Gallup. They like Cooper.
Sure.
So I'm confident. And that young defense, they're still young. They're still improving. There's room for improvement.
Still hot, baby.
Yeah.
Still hot. That defense is still hot. And the good thing about defense compared to offense, guys, is that it's still easy to be hot. It's easy to be hot on defense. But offense, dude, it's a repetitious thing that you have to just, you have to be working as one. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I gotta admit, the little Fugazi little interview they had today with Tyron.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And and Prescott and Elliott looked kind of pissed. He's like, man,
Elliott looked like what
getting upset. And
he looked like what?
Yeah, you guys are over here playing jokes on me. I don't need jokes.
Yeah.
I'm already getting eyeballs watching me, and I'm trying to stay out of the camera, and I get upset. And that
Dak was the one that looked like he had the most fun with it.
He did.
He did.
Dak did have a good, and then I guess the girl was saying Tyron's just so nice, dude. Tyron Smith.
Yeah,
dude, so
yeah.
big, dude,
dude,
he's
he's huge,
good,
man. He's huge.
These guys got paid. They look happy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dak looks happy. I know there's issues with pain. I mean, the only one that doesn't look happy, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, and just from even that little video, dude, honestly, is Zeke.
Yeah.
He doesn't look happy. He's worried about his money, and everyone wants to say, hey, man, certain players should be taking a hit, but the bottom line is Zeke's already gotten paid. He's already gotten paid, and there's other people on his teammates that need to get paid. So if anybody needs to bite the bullet, dude, it's him. Because he knows he's going to get paid.
I agree. I agree.
At
least for this season, I agree.
Just me.
No, I agree with you. At least for this season. But if it was like next season, then I understand his frustration. But it's
not.
But he I think he's getting paid significantly higher as a first round draft pick, a top 4 pick in the NFL than Dak Prescott, who's making less than $500,000 a year most of these years.
Dude,
barely making
nothing,
$2 million,
bro.
I think now.
Nothing, and he's proven already enough. So come on, I don't know about 33. I don't know about 32 or even 30.
Right.
I don't know about that. The only reason why I would say don't do it, only reason why is because don't make them. The guys, I mean, they did it on purpose. Come on, guys. This is all tactics. They paid those guys outrageous. Carson Wentz. Come on. No one pays people that much.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing it on purpose because they want Cowboys to be in a pickle. Okay? It's tactics, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. And the bottom line is, dude, Steve, you gotta bite the bullet 1 year, dude. Because look what they're doing, dude. You should, these are your boys, right? You guys want to be a Super Bowls. You want to be on the face. You want to be the next, plastered. You want to have your faces all plastered. The one that brought the 6th Super Bowl and Jerry Jones and be fucking rich forever and being taken care of forever, dude.
Right.
Something bigger, dude.
Right.
Than just,
Oh, yeah.
Doing it.
The city will love him.
Not just the Cowboys.
Yeah, the city will love him if he brings a Super Bowl in 2019.
And every team is doing that. Every team is trying to win for their city. And I respect that. And that's why I always say everybody has a chance. The thing is this dude, I don't see his face and I don't see that he's happy right now. I don't know how he's taking it. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just, from even that stupid little interview, like you said, he just seemed like, bottom line is just, with all the noise I'm hearing, with him not, getting paid yet.
That's the number one question right now.
Yeah, it is a little question. And I'm interested to see about that, too, because it's drama, dude, but, it's reality, dude. Because the Cowboys can't do anything about it, guys. I mean, we can't do anything. We can't pay what we want to pay.
Not everybody all at once. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
That sucks.
I'll be interested to see what they do with these contracts, during training camp. I'm sure they're going to sign. I'm pretty confident Dak Prescott will be signed before training camp. Amari Cooper looks like he's not pushing the deal, so who knows?
Not pushing it.
Maybe
Not worried
Zeke,
about it.
maybe Zeke gets the next deal if he's, pushy.
Maybe
Hopefully not too
maybe
pushy.
not full, maybe not a full, but maybe half at least.
I
Maybe
mean,
a little bit of
something.
Easter egg, a little something,
Yeah. So.
like, and then makes them feel better. Like, hey, I still, I'm getting something, but then it's like I'm going to go in that direction, obviously. But yeah, I took over the team, and then maybe it looks like a hero kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But there's got to be better communication, though. That's all I know. Whatever's going on there, there has to be better communication.
Right. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for Zeke, but I think he's got to be patient. He's got to be patient. Yeah, he does. Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, he's the engine that pulls the offense. Dak's the driver, but Zeke's the 454 underneath the hood.
Zeke is the 454 and Dak is a tranny, dude.
Right.
He's the turbo 400. Dude.
Right.
But remember, Zeke is that engine, dude. He really is that engine.
Oh yeah.
That is true. And the thing is, it's like, dude, you ask yourself, what's more important, Dak or Zeke? Dak or Zeke? Dak or Zeke? And the only reason why I say Dak is because, dude, he's making what he's making, and then look how these guys are smart, dude. They raised the racket of the QB price, so that way they paid Dak a lot, or not a lot, but meaning more than obviously what he should probably get because everyone else is getting what they should get, and they don't want to make Dak look like crap. So either way, Cowboys are going to do it. And then on top of that, now they're making drama on purpose for Zeke because they know we got to pay Zeke, because Zeke's been doing so good. Dude, teams know this, dude. If they don't, I'll be super surprised. Because I know this, and, this is a video game, dude, but this is real life. I mean, they're doing this, dude. This is why you see Carson Wentz. This is why you see right away Seattle paying Wilson, which I do agree with that because he has done way more than Dak. He has done, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he's done more than also Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying?
About the same.
I don't know.
As far as accomplishments, yeah, I think. Well,
Super Bowl still?
Russell Wilson's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won one, and the only reason he lost the other was because of that bad play call by his coach.
True.
But Aaron Rodgers, same thing. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. So very similar. Very similar, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, very similar resumes. Aaron Rodgers, but when you see him play on the field, he's one of the baddest dudes playing quarterback in the league today. And Russell Wilson's not far behind him.
Absolutely. And those two guys deserve their money. Absolutely.
Right.
Roethlisberger, another man that got paid actually more than Aaron, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's a little under. I think he's a little under that, but he's another guy. But he's older now.
True.
He's on his last legs, kind of thing. But
and it's like, why'd you pay him that?
I'm interested to see. Well, because he's a Super Bowl champion, he still does drag that team's offense, especially now that they don't have Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. They're really relying on Roethlisberger now, even though he is old. I mean, that's all they got right now on offense. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the Cowboys paid Dak. I think they'll hit Dak in between 30 to 32 million, and I think I can live with that. The cap's going up. Yeah, I just would hate to see Dak really try to break the bank and try to get this $36 million contract because I think that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you trying to re-sign like Byron Jones. It's going to hurt when you try to re-sign Jalen Smith. And that's what I'm worried about. I want to keep this core together at least for the next few years so they can hopefully, depending on the success they have this year, start making some runs for some more playoff pushes and hopefully, win this thing one of these damn years, man.
That's true. You know what? And I'm predicting 33 mil, if not 33.5, dude.
At the highest?
33 highest, yeah.
33
I'm
highest.
saying highest 33.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's lower. I won't. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying at the highest, I'm getting that number, that feeling in my gut. There's 33.
Yeah.
33, something like that. Because,
right.
And that's going to be because they worked it out. Something happened. They worked it out.
Everybody. It's in both parties' best interest to work this thing out. Yeah. It's the truth. They need them. The Cowboys need Dak, and Dak needs the Cowboys. Bottom line.
And it's really crazy, Phil, because I mean, you know, we were kids, dude. We didn't really worry about,
Contracts.
you know, because of course they didn't have that back then.
The salary cap.
It came after 1995, I believe.
93, I think, was the first.
93.
Yeah, because they started losing players around 94. Like Norton went to the Niners, and stuff like that. Russell Maryland went to the Raiders.
Salary, when did the NFL bring the salary
in
cap?
that
Because
same
the
time
Cowboys
with
did,
free agency, at the same time, because then everybody started doing crazy deals at first, like manipulating the salary cap. Like the 49ers did it, signing Dion. Jerry Jones did it, signing Dion. Like everybody was breaking the rules to sign Dion, you know? So they started putting in more concrete, hard salary cap rules right away after that.
Yep, that's true.
So, yeah, we didn't hear about this back then.
No, we didn't. No. Now we're trying to, like, understand, like, what they could do. And that's why I'm hoping the players, like you said, could understand that they don't try to come back also, like you said, and say, try to get 35, 36. That's too much money, dude.
Right.
It's outrageous.
So,
be happy with 32, 33.
Yeah. So, one thing I want to talk about before I end this recording here, I want to talk about Cowboys, man. Training camp is this week, man.
Yes. But I know we've been trying to, promote and we were also trying to do our daily lives, and we're fathers and just
tough.
throwing that out there. But we're trying to bring the viewers from your podcast what's going on with the training camp.
I'm going to try to get down to training camp. Yeah. I'm going to try to get down to training camp. We got to try to get down, meet the people, try to get up close with the Cowboys and see what we can find out, see who's playing well. Yeah. So that'll be one of the goals here on the channel as well. So, yeah, man. Well, it's been cool, man. It's been good talking Cowboys, man. I'm sure we're going to do it again soon. The season is upon us. Preseason. We'll actually have some shit to talk about because the Cowboys are going to be on the field in training camp, on the field for preseason.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for when the games actually start to count, man. So, yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on with me, man. I'm going to play the music, man, and outro us out. A little Project Pat. So, get us going. All right, guys. This has been Philip Enriquez for the Say What You Like Sports Podcast. Make sure you sub up. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to try to do this video thing a lot more often. I know we've mostly been an audio podcast, but we're trying to grow YouTube. We did pretty well growing the podcast in audio format. We're available on Apple Podcast, available on Podcast Addict, Anchor, anywhere the podcast can be found, but we're trying to build the video stage now. So sub up to YouTube, man, because we're not growing like we want to, man. We want to hit 1K subscribers this season. So help us get to our goal. Sub it up here on YouTube. But you know what? If not, stay listening to the podcast. I ain't mad. But I am Philip Enriquez. So until next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.